Hi students, welcome to PhD Jobs and Admission. This is Gauri. So in today's session, we are going to see Pondicherry University's PhD entrance test, research methodology subject, preparation tips and tricks. So in today's session, we are going to see research methodology PYQs of the year 2020 of PhD entrance test at Pondicherry University. So after viewing this session, your concepts of research methodology will get clear, and as well you will get an idea exactly what type of MCQs they will ask you under research methodology subject at PhD entrance test at Pondicherry University. So students, most of the PYQs are repetitively asked in the each year. That's why you can practice these PYQs as well. So it will be really helpful to all the candidates. So now let us begin. So students, as you know that there is PhD entrance test for this year at Pondicherry University, and under this PhD entrance test they will ask you 50% MCQs on research methodology and 50% MCQs on concerned subject. So if you want to qualify this PhD entrance test, then all the students have to score 50% marks. So students, by using this research methodology complete course, all the students can guaranteed score 50% marks in research methodology and they can qualify the PhD entrance test. In this course, we provide full syllabus video lectures under which theory and MCQ lecture series are available. We provide full syllabus notes and mock tests. We have 10 mock tests like this. Each mock test contains 40 MCQs. That's why overall you can solve 400 MCQs in this. We provide more than 1500 MCQs revision PDF. By the use of this revision PDF, all the students can guaranteed revise all the topics in a single PDF, and they will get 80% MCQs from this PDF only out of 100% MCQs in the research methodology section of the PhD entrance test. And the study material that we provide will be available in both Hindi and English languages. So students, if you want to buy this complete course, then you can either download the Global Online app from the Play Store. For that, I have given the link in the description box of this video, or else you can contact me through these WhatsApp numbers. The course fees are only $699, and in this low fees we provide guaranteed selection to all the students. Okay, so students, this research methodology complete course is nothing but a revision package to all the students. From that you can guaranteed score 50% marks in the research methodology and you can guaranteed qualify the PhD entrance test. Okay, now let us begin. 58th percentile of a distribution coincides with its. Now you have a data distribution, and from that you are taking out the 50th percentile, then that 50th percentile coincides with what entity of a distribution? Mean, median, mode, quartile. So students, basically let us see first of all of these options. Mean means what? Average of a whole data set, right? Median means what? The middle value of the distribution whenever you order it in ascending or descending order. Mode means what? A data set having highest frequency, and quartile is nothing but a measures of distribution. Okay, so students, 58th percentile of a distribution means what? The half of the value of the whole distribution at the 50th percentile. So below this value there will be half of the data values of the distribution, and from this there will be half of the data values of the distribution. So exactly the similar concept it is there with the median. That's why here your correct answer should be what? Median, because median is nothing but the middle value of a distribution, right? And because of this middle value, okay, the half of the values below this middle value, okay, comes under half, okay, of a distribution, and the half of the values will be there higher the middle value. So exactly this is nothing but what? The 50th percentile of a distribution. So it coincides with its what? Median. Okay, the diagram used to estimate mode graphically is. So whenever you want to estimate the mode graphically, then what diagram you can use? Whether you will use histogram, frequency curve, ogive, bar diagram. So students, now let us see one by one all of these graphical representations. Histogram is used to represent the continuous variables. Okay, continuous variables, and that's why it will be seen like this. Okay, like this. So there is no space between these bars because this is actually representing the continuous variables. Okay, frequency curve is the curve which describes the frequency of the data values. Ogive is nothing but a cumulative frequency distribution, and from this you can estimate the relationship between the rankings or the scores of the variables. Bar diagram is a bar graph and it is basically representing the categorical variables. So if you see all of these options, then mode is nothing but what? The data value having the highest frequency, right? So it can be graphically estimated by using histogram. Okay, within the histogram it is showing the representation of continuous variables. So the bar graph which having the highest length basically represents the mode of the data distribution. Okay, so students, we provide Pondicherry University PhD entrance test paper to study material as well. By the use of this study material, all the students can guaranteed score more marks in paper 2. In this, we provide full syllabus notes and MCQs. By the use of MCQs, all the students can solve MCQs and PYQs. So with the help of these most expected MCQs and PYQs, all the students will score more marks in paper 2. So the subjects that I have shown on this screen, on all of these subjects currently we provide paper to study material. If you want study material for any other subject, then you can ask me in the comment box. Paper to study material fees are only 999, and in this low fees we provide guaranteed selection to all the students. So students, to join our courses you can contact me through these WhatsApp numbers only. Okay, so students, this paper to study material will be helpful to qualify the entrance test, as well it will be helpful to qualify the interview session, because within the interview session examiners will ask you a lot of questions on the concerned subject. Okay, the purpose of developing a conceptual framework for research is to, so students, whenever we develop a conceptual framework for research, what is the purpose behind it? Interpret the theory, test the theory, organize the research, explain the theory. So students, conceptual framework for research means the outline for research. So within the outline of research, basically we describe the research design. So whatever you are going to do in the whole research process, the outline or the way of doing the research process you describe in this. So you describe exactly what type of data collection methods and data analysis methods you are going to use in your research process. That's why the main purpose of developing a conceptual framework for research is to organize the research. Because organize the research means what? You are making the design of the research. Okay, you can also interpret the theory and explain the theory, okay, by using conceptual framework for research, but these are not the main purposes of it, but the main purpose of this is nothing but to organize the research. Okay, the following is not a scale of numerical measurement. Now they have given you different options of scale, and from this option, which is a scale which is not a scale of numerical measurement, whether it is nominal scale, whether it is interval scale, whether it is ordinal scale, or whether it is ratio scale. So students, if you see all of these scaling options, then in this scaling options there is only a scale which is not a scale of numerical measurement. It means that from this scale, the scale is not assigning the numerical values to the variables, okay, but it is only giving the names or labeling to the variables, and by the use of this they can categorize the variables into different categories. So this is the only characteristic of nominal scale. That's why here your correct answer should be what? Nominal scale, because within the nominal scale you only label or name the variables and you can categorize the variables. You can't give the numerical values to the variables, and that's why you can't measure them numerically. But if you see all of these scales, that is interval, ordinal and ratio scale, you can basically numerical values can be given in this scale, and you can give the rankings to the variables and you can compare those rankings. Within the ordinal scale, I can understand you can't basically numerically measure the variables, but still you can give the orders to the variables, and according to those orders you can basically compare the variables. and that's why somehow it comes under a scale of numerical measurement. But nominal scale does not at all comes under a scale of numerical measurement. That's why here your correct answer should be what? 1. Which distribution should be used in order to find out where certain scores rank relative to all others? So from these options, which is the option or which is the distribution that can be used in order to find out where certain scores rank relative to all other scores? Okay, frequency polygon, probability distribution, grouped frequency distribution, cumulative frequency distribution. So students, we have seen frequency polygon in the question number 1 or 2 in this session. Within the probability distribution, it gives the values under the distribution which has a lot of probability of true population parameter. And if you see cumulative frequency distribution, this is nothing but what? Ogive. Okay, and it gives you the information about number of observation that fall below or at each value in data set, and it can determine the percentile rank of particular score, which indicates percentage of scores in that distribution, okay, that are lower than or equal to that score, and it can be represented by using what? Ogive. So for example, you are going to representing the 90% of distribution, or 90% of score in a distribution. Then it means that the scores are actually less than or equal to the 90 percentile. Okay, so according to that you can give the scores, okay, to that distribution or to that data value relative to all others. Okay, so that's why here your correct answer should be what? 4. Which one of these sampling methods is a probability method? Now they have given you different options, and from these different options, which is the sampling method which is a probability method? Quota, judgment, convenience, simple random. So students, probability method means what? You are going to select the samples randomly, right? And if you see all of these options, then you will understand that simple random sampling is the sampling method which comes under a probability sampling method, because within this sampling method you are simply randomly selecting a sample from the target population. Okay, so this is your correct answer. And if you see all of these other options, quota, judgment, convenience, all of these comes under non-probability sampling methods, because here you are selecting the samples non-randomly. Okay, within the quota sampling you have the target population, and from the target population you make the subpopulation, and from the subpopulation you are going to select the samples but non-randomly. Okay, within the judgment sampling, researcher have a specific kind of a purpose towards the sample, and because of that purpose he is going to select the sample, and that too purposively. Within the convenience sampling, according to the researcher's convenience, he is going to select the samples. Okay. Triangulative research refers to what? Multiple sources for data collection, quasi-experimental methods related to psychoanalysis, none of these. So students, triangulative research is a research method, and basically it uses multiple data sets. Okay, it uses multiple data sets, it uses multiple theories, it uses multiple methods, as well it uses multiple investigators to address research question, and it is useful to enhance validity and credibility of research findings by checking with different sources. That's why triangulative research is nothing but a method which refers to what? The method which uses multiple sources for data collection to increase the validity and credibility of the research findings. Okay, so triangulative research method can be useful in both, that is quantitative and qualitative research methods, but mostly it is applicable in qualitative research method. Okay, which of the following is not an essential element of report writing? Research methodology, reference, conclusion, none of these. So students, as you know that report writing is nothing but what? Research report writing, and in this you provide the descriptions about major aspects of your research process. So under which you give the title for your research, you give the abstract, right? Then you write the introduction part, then you give the information about literature survey or literature review, Then you give the information about what research methods or research methodology. Then you describe what the result section. Then you conclude all of your results, and then at the last you give the references. So if you see all of these subsections of the research report writing, then you will understand that research methodology, reference, conclusion, all of these are nothing but the essential elements of report writing. Because within the research methodology section, you can describe the research methods that you have used in your research process. You describe in the reference section the sources that you have used, and from this you can avoid the plagiarism as well. You can give the credit to the another authors and researchers, so it can increase the credibility of your research report. Basically, in the conclusion section, you can conclude your research results and you give the further information about the further research to the readers. Okay, that's why here your correct answer should be what? None of these. What is the purpose of doing research? Now students, why we do research? What is the purpose behind it? To identify problem, to find the solution. Both to identify problem and to find the solution, none of these. So students, we do research because we need the solution to our problem, and that's why this is one of the most important purpose of doing research. But apart from that, by doing research we can identify the problem. For example, exploratory research, as we have seen, within the exploratory research we don't get basically the solution to our problem, but we get the information about the research problem on which we are basically doing the study, or on which we are going to do the study. So we get the essential information of our research problem by doing exploratory research, and that's why you can clearly identify the research problem by doing such kinds of research. And that's why by doing the research, basically you can identify the research problem, and as well you can find the solution. Okay, basically identifying a research problem by doing research is nothing but a most important characteristic of research, but this is again the purpose of doing research. That's why here your correct answer should be what? 3, that is both to identify problem and to find the solution. Okay, which of the following is non-probability sampling technique? Whether it is snowball, whether it is random, whether it is cluster, whether it is stratified. Now students, they have asked you about from these options which is an option which is non-probability sampling technique. So from these options we need to select the option which basically comes under selecting the samples non-randomly. Now this is a homework question to all the students, and all the students have to give me the answer in the comment box. Okay, because we have seen lot of concepts relevant to sampling, its types and everything. So I want the answers from all the students, and if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment box regarding this question. Okay. So students, thank you for watching this session. I hope all of you understood everything whatever I have discussed with you in this session. But if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment box.